Hi, my name is Jasmine, and this is my field experience reflection video for School as Community. This semester, I volunteered at the Boys and Girls Club. I did a community project for the Boys and Girls Club. I tutored at Atchison Elementary for preschoolers, and I volunteered on Saturday mornings with the Hunger Coalition, and I also worked with my friend with this new program at Benedictine, which is jail ministry. All of these together with the hours that I've done throughout the semester is over 50 hours. I think it ended up being about 52 hours of field experience. At the Boys and Girls Club, I originally went into it thinking I wouldn't do very well. I never considered myself uh, good with kids, especially in the age division that they're at the Boys and Girls Club. But the first day I showed up, the kids were so excited to meet me and to get to know me. And before I knew it, I was making friends. And hopefully, I get to keep them as friends even after the semester's over, because I do plan on going back to the Boys and Girls Club to keep the connections that I've made. One of the things that I learned at the Boys and Girls Club was to be vulnerable and to be someone that the kids can trust and feel safe with. And through this, I made some connections by not always talking about really happy things. And it wasn't usually that I brought them up. I didn't necessarily tell these kids my deepest and darkest secrets, but they would open up to me and they would talk to me about some pretty heavy stuff. And I didn't always have the right answers for them, and I needed a lot of advice when things like that would come up, which was really eye opening to me. But it also, um, I learned to support them with as much as I could do, and being vulnerable was a big part of making these connections with these kids, and it really benefited me in my experience moving forward, knowing what to do as a future educator when something like that comes up. And also, it also made our connection stronger. It made my connection stronger with the kids, knowing that they could trust me and I can trust them with information. Not that I told them any of my information, but it was also really nice being able to apply what I've learned here at Benedictine, um, as far as what how I can actually help someone learn. And so whenever it would come to our reading times, I would work one on one with a student who's struggling with reading, and I would be able to help them with what I've learned. But the most important thing is what I've learned from the kids themselves. This whole class is about building community, and you're trying to figure out how to do that. And the biggest takeaway that I have from all of field experience is that they helped me learn. So it was really great having the kids teach me things. My community project at the Boys and Girls Club was a end of the year party for the students and the mentors, because the mentors wouldn't be coming back for the rest of the semester. And I planned this with Mihaela and Dallin, and the theme of the party was Survivor, like the TV show. And needless to say, it was very chaotic. It did not go as planned at all, but it was a great experience. The kids had fun, the mentors had fun, and while it was chaotic, hopefully it was a little bit controlled, and it was a fun time. But it was kind of sad at the end because the mentors wouldn't be coming back, so it was kind of interesting and kind of sad seeing the students' reaction, our like Benedictine students' reactions, and the kids at the Boys and Girls Club's reactions, and seeing that our relationships were stronger than we thought they were, which made everyone really emotional. And it was an interesting community project to work on, but I thought it was an overall success. I also tutored at the Atchison Elementary School. I worked with the preschoolers, which is interesting because I'm a secondary ed major, yet I was working with preschoolers. But it was actually really, really interesting to work with them because these students are kind of working with their fine motor skills and learning the foundation of their learning, or learning the foundation of their education. And this is really interesting because you're kind of learning and seeing how the mind starts to work and develop, and that's something that I haven't really been familiar with in the past. I'm used to seeing older people who already kind of know their tips and tricks to how to learn something, but this is the foundation of their learning. So it was really interesting tutoring those kids and just getting to know those kids and seeing their brain kind of start to develop. And so that was really interesting. Also, another thing, I went at from 1:30 to 2:30, which is right in the middle of their recess. So they want to play tag with you all the time. So I need to be prepared always. Whenever I went there, I always need to be prepared to do, like, to play tag. On Hunger Coalition, I did this twice on a Saturday morning. You get up early. Half the time I was really tired, but as soon as you get out there, you feel really awake. Um, you're basically handing out meals to people who come from a less fortunate income house. And some people greet you and are super happy to see you, and some people kind of they don't really say anything. But you don't really it's not really about me, and that's one thing that you learn is it has nothing to do with me, the one who's giving you the food. It's about them, how can you make their day better? It's not about the reaction they give me. It's about what I can provide for them. So that was something that I learned. It was also a reality check because, we learn a lot about unfortunate situations, but being out there and actually seeing it, like face to face, it's a huge reality check. And it kind of inspired me it definitely got me more inspired with volunteering and this type of work. And it's also while it's inspiring, you kind of get ambitious and you kind of want to do the most and try and do everything you can. But even small things like this, the small volunteer work, these things make an impact, and with enough of it, it makes a big impact. Lastly, I got involved with jail ministry. My friend Savannah and her friend Joshua started a jail ministry at the college. It's very new. I originally got into this because I wanted to see a new perspective, because we do learn about students with incarcerated parents, and I wanted to really be familiar with that and know how to go about that. But when I went into the jail and I started meeting the inmates, I was meeting the women in the jail. I started making connections with them, and I started being able to relate with them, and kind of being able to help them and mentor them, and same for me. We were just able to make deep connections, and it's left me feeling very inspired. Moving forward, I want to be in these people's lives, and I want to be able to help them and get better. And even though I'm done with my field experience for this class, me and Savannah have both agreed to coming back twice a month in the summer to keep going into the jail and to keep meeting with these inmates to hopefully turn their life around the best that we can. The biggest thing that field experience has taught me this semester, obviously the class is kind of surrounded around building community, but how do you do that? And we just kind of got thrown out there like, hey, okay, here's 50 hours of field experience, get to it, and it's really nerve-wracking at first, but at the end you realize that you did it, and the people who helped you and the people who taught you were the people in the community themselves. It's just very interesting going and seeing a 6-year-old girl teach me, a 20-year-old woman who's studying for her bachelor's, learn life experience that I didn't have any idea of my entire life. And so it has made a big impact for myself, and it has taught me how to make impacts on others. And this is the best experience I could have had through field experience. And that's my reflection. Thank you.